I quite like Viva Ned Flanders. This is the 10th episode of the 10th season of The Simpsons, and in this episode, Homer learns that Ned is 60 years old, which I have to say, he looks brilliant for being 60 years old. He definitely doesn't look the age. And Ned kind of ponders on the fact that he hasn't done very much with his life. And one thing leads to another, and Homer and Ned end up in Vegas. And I love the way it's animated. I think it's brilliant to look at. Visually, it's a very appealing episode, and needless to say, they get up to some Vegas-based antics, and they end up in a pretty sticky situation. Basically, they marry people. I was going to kind of think, shall I mention what happens? Will I spoil it? But it's not really a spoiler. It's the whole point of the episode. They go to Vegas. They end up getting married, and I'm not going to say what happens as a result of that or what happens with these two women, Amber and Ginger, but definitely it was unpredictable. I didn't know what to expect with the outcome. I wasn't sure what would happen with these two women. I wasn't even sure if their marriage was legal, since they're both already married, although Ned, being a widow, I'm not entirely sure about that actually, but certainly with Homer, I don't know if their marriage would have been legal or if it was void instantly. These were questions that I had. I was curious to see what they'd do with this episode, and indeed how Marge would react if she ever found out. And I quite liked it. I think it's a really good fun episode. I think it's a really interesting narrative. It's a little bit different. It's definitely a different side to Ned. Ned as a character I really like, and seeing him in this kind of situation is certainly very different, and Homer takes some pretty drastic action at some points, but I like it. Things do happen after Vegas that make it quite interesting as well. It's not just like all of the interesting things happen there. So from start to finish, Viva Ned Flanders is an episode that I really enjoyed, and it's one that I think maybe is not my favourite from season 10, but it's definitely one that I think is a credit to the season nevertheless.